Welcome to the Talent Show, people. I know y'all love hearing me do that. I know y'all do because I love saying that. Guys, welcome back to another episode. I get very energetic when I do that. And I think that's the way to get everyone riled up into the episode. How's everybody doing? You doing good? Yeah, I know you said you're doing good. And if you're not doing good, man, I hope this episode can just bring a little bit of a smile to your day and to your week. Man, we wish nothing but the best to everyone. Continue working hard. I just wrapped up my junior year of high school. We're going on a senior year, boys. Let's do it. And let's continue working hard, man. Staying safe during the pandemic and just having a little bit of fun and enjoying life, guys. I hope all is well again. And I've got a special little guest with me here today. And been able to do this for over a year now. And I'm growing and I'm loving to reach out to people. And so this is a different spectrum for me. I'm in the South. I'm in the state of Arkansas. We're going up to New York this time with it. I got my guy, Mr. Brock Bertram, with me. Everybody clap it up for him. Yes, sir. Brock, what's going on, man? How's life treating you? You just had some big news come out to the university just not too long ago. How's life treating you, and what you been up to as of late?
Life's going good. We're in the off season right now. I've been able to get my body rested, just trying to maintain shape, and just getting ready for another long season coming up.
I usually get two things, and I'm going to get to that as well. But you had some big news drop recently. You announced your return back to the University of Buffalo for one more year, the extra year of eligibility. Just talk about that. What went into that? What were the pros and cons, and why did you eventually decide to come back to Buffalo?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough decision. This will be my sixth year going to college now. But one of the main factors was I want to win another MAC championship. We came up short last year, and I just felt like it was only right to do it again. I also did think about going overseas, but I think for my best interest, is have another solid season and then see what I can do next year. So just coming to the decision was just to come back to school. I think was best for me.
You talk about going overseas. After you wrap up this year, would that still be the plan for you, or you have different options looking forward to the future?
I definitely want to play professional basketball. If that's here in the States, that would be lovely. But
Mhm.
probably more realistically, it'll be overseas. So I've always wanted to play professional basketball, so that was one of my goals.
Okay, well, we're wishing the best for you. But Brock, for the listeners that may not know who you are, just give them a brief overview of who you are as a person, where you're from, and where you are today, and just some things you've been able to do to get you where you are today, man.
I'm originally from Apple Valley, Minnesota. That's about 10 minutes outside of Minneapolis. I decided to go to Buffalo in 2016. That was my first year there to play college basketball there. I'm 6'11", pretty tall. I've always been tall. I think I was 6'6" in the sixth grade. So I've always been, a basketball player, always been tall. So that's really my life.
I want to get quick into it. When I see someone that tall, I inherently think your parents are pretty tall as well. But I've known a couple of people. I've known one guy 7'1", and his parents are only like 5'8", 5'9". So are your
Yeah,
parents inherently hard? Is that where you got that genetics
they
from?
they actually are not. My dad is 6'1", I want to say, and my
Mhm,
mom is 5'8". But my brother is like 6'6" now.
mhm.
He grew a little bit since I've been gone, so I guess it just runs in our family that I'm 6'10", 6'11". My brother's 6'6".
Apple Valley, Minnesota, man. Talk about that upbringing, man. What was the culture like there for you? Obviously, not being too far away from Minneapolis, getting to watch the Timberwolves. I'm sure you're probably a big Kevin Garnett fan, as that
Right.
is. Just talk about what was the culture like in Apple Valley, and where did your love of basketball come from?
Apple Valley was great. I actually played. I won two state championships there. The first two state championships that Apple Valley's ever had. I actually played with a couple pros. Gary Trent Jr. was my teammate. He now plays for the Raptors. Tyus Jones was my teammate. He plays for Memphis, and Tre Jones was my teammate for a couple of years, and he plays for the Spurs. So it's a great program. It's a great Minnesota basketball is just very underrated overall.
Yeah.
Not every year we're coming out with a top three guy going to Duke, guys playing in the NBA. So it was just great to grow up in that time to see Minnesota basketball really on the rise.
I think you personally, I can definitely agree with that. Minnesota's basketball is definitely growing. You saw Jalen Suggs, who's
Right.
come out of Minnesota, now did his thing at Gonzaga this year. Paige Beckers, who's now at UConn, taking over
Right.
the college women's basketball game, and it's growing everlasting. I think for you personally, you've been a part of some great times. You got to say Tre Jones, Tyus Jones, Duke University, big time maybe at Gary Trent Jr. is doing his thing now. Talk about who was one of your biggest basketball idols that you've modelized and watched film over time and time again for your game, and were there any times growing up that you thought about pursuing a different path other than basketball?
Right. Like you said, I'm from Minnesota, so Kevin Garnett was always one of my idols. I love watching his intensity and his drive for the game. That really made me fall in love with basketball. But I also like watching Jokic, the MVP right now. I think I resemble some type of his game. He's a low post guy. He likes to be physical. He's very skilled, and I've always liked to watch Jokic, and I like Kevin Garnett also. Actually, my father was a good football player growing up, so I wanted to play football, but I think I got a little too tall. I didn't want to. I quit in the ninth grade, and I just had to give it up for basketball. I didn't want to, get injured in football and then have it hurt my basketball career, so I had to give it up. But I've always, really liked football, and I always thought I could have played it if I didn't play basketball.
Are you a Minnesota fanatic, like you're just focusedly Timberwolves, Twins, Vikings fans, or are you even kind of persuaded outside of Minnesota as a sports fan?
Sadly, I'm a Minnesota fan. I'm pretty loyal, but they haven't been too good over the years. But one of these years, man, we'll finally win something.
Growing up, what were things outside of the game of sports that kept your attention and kept you busy that you kind of enjoyed just as much as playing sports?
Right. I always just like hanging out with my teammates or hanging out with my friends. I loved playing video games growing up. You always see me play video games with my friends, and that was really it. Just hanging out, playing video games, throwing the football around, just chilling.
What's your top three video games list ever?
2K got to be up there.
Mhm.
Madden, and I'm a big Fortnite guy. When it came out in like 2017, I was just addicted. I also like GTA too. I play GTA with my teammates still to this day.
Give me two specific, one Madden and one 2K. Which one in specific?
2K16 when the park, I think that's when the park came out. That had to
Mhm.
be the best thing to happen in video games. And then Madden 18 was a good one. I mean, all the Maddens are really the same, so I'll just say Madden 18.
And definitely some childhood games for me. I grew up playing
Yeah.
Man 09 was my first one. My cousin, we used to play it all day, every day. So I definitely we can go back with it. But talk about growing up in high school. 3-star coming out of high school. You had offers from many different schools. Buffalo, of course, Miami, Ohio, Texas Tech. What came to the conclusion that you said University of Buffalo was the next step for you, and how hard was it for you to, maybe step away from other universities coming at you as well as Buffalo?
Yeah, I mean, when I said I was committing to Buffalo, a lot of people were like, "Where?" A lot of people. It was very. I mean, it was very underrated. And I took my visit there a couple years ago, and then I really like the coaching staff. I love the culture. I love Buffalo as a city. It's a great place. Very blue collar, very supportive. I walk around the city all the time, and people are just showing love. So it's a great city. I mean, it was I had higher offers, but I think it's worked out for me, and I'm truly just happy that I made that decision at such a young age.
When you first step into the D1 level of basketball, what was the biggest transition for you personally in the game? Was it
Yeah.
speed? Was it defense? Was it, understanding your body more, being more coachable? What was the biggest transition for you?
I have a couple. Speed was definitely like one of the biggest things. Like I remember my first practice, and it was like the first couple drills. I'm like, dang, like we a track team? Like this is crazy. Like we're running this much. I definitely had to work on my body. I went into college about 265, and now this is my 6th year. 240 right now. So I definitely had to work on my body. That was a big thing. That's why I redshirted my first year, just to get in shape, work on my body. But definitely the speed of the game was like it's crazy.
I think I talked to an assistant coach at the University of Illinois a couple of weeks back, and we talked about the evolution of social media within the game of
Mhm.
sports. What's your take on it? Because I think personally, and I say this many times, I think we give social media is giving people that don't know anything about sports, whether it's
Right.
basketball, football, baseball, anything, and it's giving them a platform to be the president, basically.
Right.
What is your take on that? And have you ever, received threats, criticism, negative criticism on social media? And how do you think it's changing the game of basketball personally?
For sure. Like I like how you say use your platform. I mean, it's your page. You can put whatever you want on it, and I've always just tried to create a good image for myself and a good platform. So I've always tried to just be appropriate on social media. Promote things that I like, promote healthy things. Just trying to have a great outline of me. And I mean, I've definitely had a lot of fans, talking crazy in my DMs or they'll at me in a couple things, but the amount that I get for that and the amount I get for people praising me and saying good job and showing love is very minimal.
Personally, as well, going on to that, I think not only you in Buffalo has grown, but I think the MAC-10 as a conference has grown over the last couple of years, and you've been able to be a part of that. Talk about what's it like to be a part of something that big when it's growing, something become this bigger, and also talk about your team chemistry, how that is so important to be able to win MAC-10
Right.
championships when they will win games on a day-to-day basis.
Right. I mean, the MAC is definitely blown up since I've been here. I mean, me personally, when we made the tournament, we won one game in the tournament each year. I know Ohio beat Virginia last year in the NCAA tournament, so it's not just like a shock that we're upsetting these schools. Like it's a very good conference. You got to play every game. Like every team is good. Like there's no off days. Like it's a very intense league. Like it's a very good league that's up and coming. And chemistry with teammates is very important. I think that's one of the main reasons why we've been so successful over these years is like we care about each other. Like I care about every guy on my team. They care about me. We care about the coaching staff, and I think that makes guys go out of their way and do extra for their teammates.
When I honestly, I think you guys have just as hard of a schedule as say a professional basketball player do because you guys are still in school. And,
Right.
when you're traveling, even if it's just from state to state, you're still having to evolve yourself within the schoolwork. Talk about how your schedule has changed differently from your high school time to college, and did you adapt to that easily, or was it something that you took time to grow into?
Well, it definitely took time. I mean, the thing about Buffalo in the MAC is we're the only school in New York. So we're always either traveling to Ohio, Michigan. We got to go to Northern Illinois, and we got an away game on a Tuesday night. We don't get the games at 7. We don't get done till about 10. Leave at 11. Don't get home until 2 or 3 in the morning, and then some guys have class at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
It's a grind. It's a grind, but you just got to manage it. I think time management is a very important thing for all student athletes to have. You know, just being on top of things and not slacking when those difficult times come. But overall, I've been able to maintain that, and I've got definitely better over the years.
I think personally, you can look back on that and you have to grow because you don't have good grades, you can't play,
Right.
you can't
Yeah.
play at all. So it takes a toll. But I want to talk to you. What advice would you give for someone that wants to be in your shoes? Someone wants to play D1 basketball over the things you've learned over your career playing basketball. What advice
Right.
would you give to someone that's going into the next stage of their life trying to get to D1 basketball?
I'll just say, believe in yourself. A lot of people have negative comments. A lot of people might say, you can't do something, but just believe in yourself, work hard. Like I said, use your time management skills, and just really just keep working. Like, don't let people judge you, and don't let that affect you. Just do what you believe, and you can do great things.
I think the way the game has evolved from like the 70s to 80s to 90s to 2000s to now, um, you can say Will Chamberlain and Bill Russell were the dominant times of their game because that's how the game was dominant back then was the centers, and then MJ and Kobe and now Stephen Curry. It's kind of made it a more guard dominated game. Do you think the center position as you as a center is personally overlooked now? Because personally in the game of the NBA, I think it is. So what is your take on it? Do you think the center position is overlooked now?
I definitely do. Yeah, I was very excited to see Jokic and Embiid, in the MVP because there's not many bigs that post up anymore. It's all spacing and pick and pop and all that stuff. But I definitely see the center being overlooked a lot. But You got guys who can score off the block or make plays for others. It's very valuable, I think.
You talk about that's a good point. Shout out to Nikola Jokic real quick for his MVP this year, man. Unbelievable things. We haven't seen that in forever, and congrats to him. I think we will never see that again except from him. So shout out to him. But when you work on your game, what are the things that you're focusing on? Whether it's watching film or practicing with the team or practicing by yourself, what are the things that you're trying to work on? Is it post game, your shot, free throw shot, transition game, defense? What is it that you're trying to specifically work on a day-to-day basis?
You hit on it a lot. I'm definitely trying to work on my post moves. I worked a lot on my left hand. I'm definitely working on my shot, my free throws. It's all really important. It's not. It's always important just to improve everything that you can, not just focus on one little thing that you can get really good at. You got to focus on your weaknesses too. That will help you your overall game better.
You recently again made the academic all-MAC team. How important is that for you to be just as good as you are on the court inside the classroom? And what kind of standout are you trying to make for others around you?
It's very important. I take my education very seriously. I was a first generation college grad, and I just first person in my family to get a master's degree this spring. So I just I've always took that very important. I've always been very proud of that, and I think that I can kids can follow, and I can set a good pathway for other people to follow.
Brock, for someone that's never been to Buffalo, New York, what's one thing that they would have to go do, visit, anything that you love to do yourself?
Man, you gotta try the chicken wings. Buffalo's known for the chicken wings. You can really go anywhere you want, but the chicken wings are good. They don't lie about that. Chicken wings are very good.
I love that. I got to check that out. I'm personally, I love to decisive the game. How much time do you spend not only watching your film, but watching teams that you play a lot? Well, how much time do you spend watching film on plays, teams, yourself, and just even people like above you in professional game? How much time do you spend watching film?
It's a lot. I think it's very important to learn from others. I definitely watch film on me, myself. I watch the things I do good, and I think it's also important to watch the things that I do bad that I can learn from. We definitely, I mean, as a team, we watch film about 2 hours a day on our opponents and stuff. So we get a lot of film. And like you said, I watch every NBA game, every NBA playoff game. I'm gonna watch them tonight. Like I'm always trying to, pick up on things and see how players do certain things. So I've always, enjoyed watching the game, and I think I've learned a lot from it.
I want to backtrack because I didn't get to this. I hear so much personally. Oh, basketball soft now. It's not like it was in the '90s, stuff like that. But they say that, but most of them don't play the game of basketball or haven't in
Right,
a long time, so they don't really
right.
understand. But being in a family with siblings, do you feel like that made you tougher to help you get better at the game of basketball? Because I think personally having siblings helps you get tougher at a young age. So how does you
I
feel on
de-
that?
yes, I definitely think so. I have a younger brother and younger sister, and we're always, fighting, wrestling, playing basketball, just being, brother and sister bonding, and my dad's always been tough on me, and he's always, wanted me to be the tough guy, and I've always tried to hold that blue collar mentality.
Me being is really big on family. Do you think you would be where you are today without your family?
No, not at all. Like I said, my dad was really tough on me. My mom was really tough on me. They didn't let me, slack off when I could have. And they've always been supportive. And I think, it's really put me in a position to where like I can succeed and get to the point where I wanted to get.
Bro, who high school, college, whenever, who was the toughest defender? Who was the toughest guy you ever had to play against? Who gave you the most buckets ever, man?
That's tough. That's tough. DeAndre Ayton was really good.
Hmm.
Bam and Bio was really good. I remember playing against Jason Tatum younger. He was really good. We used to play against Tre Young and Michael Porter on the same team in AAU. It's ridiculous. De'Aaron Fox was I remember playing, he was really good. Just going down the line, I played against a lot of great competition. So it's really hard to say, who's better, DeAndre Ayton or Bam and Bio. They're all great players in their own sense.
Shout out to MPJ. I say that to this day. Michael Porter Jr. was the greatest high school player I've ever seen. That's me. That's me
So
personally,
good,
though.
man. So
That's
good.
that's me personally. I think he was
Yeah.
a bigger, stronger, more athletic Kevin Durant. That's just me
Yeah.
personally. You guys have your own taste, but I would say stick to it to death. Michael Porter Jr. is the greatest high school player I've ever seen. But
Yeah.
talk about I think the evolution of the Buffalo University basketball team. It's some people might know former head coach now at Arizona State Bobby Hurley was there just not too long ago, and obviously that name was going to help evolve things, but he had a passion for the game, which gave the guys enough passion to continue growing. And now you're under Jim Whitesell. What is his philosophy like, and what have you been able to learn from him that you haven't learned from any other coach previous?
Coach, I've been with Coach Watson for 6 years now. When I got there, he was the head assistant coach, and I credit my basketball IQ to him. He's one of the smartest basketball coaches I've ever met. He puts in the time, he puts in work. He watches film every day. He had the same. He's a great X and O's guy, but his main thing is blue collar. That's what our program is about. Is doing the dirty work, diving on the floor, taking charges. And I think we've implied that as, one of our main things for our program. And I think it's a great thing that we've done. And I think it's really helped us out over the years.
As a student athlete, what's your your strongest strength on the court, and what's your biggest weakness on the court? But what's also your strongest strength as a student and your weakest part of you as a student?
Okay. I'd say my strength, for me personally, is just, my IQ of the game. I've been around college basketball for 6 years, and I know a lot about it. I know the whole playbook. I know all the defensive schemes, and I think I've been able to apply that to my teammates, and I think that's made us a better team and a better program overall. Um, One weakness I would say for basketball and on the court is I procrastinate a little bit. You only get 24 hours in the day, and when you're a student athlete, it's pretty hectic. And sometimes I go home and I don't want to do my homework right there when I get out of practice. So play some video games, watch some TV, and then all of a sudden it's 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then I got to grind out 2 hours of homework, and then I get less sleep for weights in the morning, and then I would definitely say procrastination is something that as a student athlete you have to work on.
How important do you think, and this is one of my key things, communication is, not only like as on the court, but communicating with coaches, professors, teachers, friends? How important is communication for you?
I think it's very important. I think it goes along with the social media and using your platform. Just having a good conversations. Being nice to people, having good relationships within the program, the community is very important because those are the people that are going to help you. Those are the people that are going to support you. And I think just being a good guy and having great relationships throughout is a thing that can only benefit you.
Brock, aliens come down, take over the world, and they say you can't play basketball ever again. What do you want to do? What's the different perspective you're taking in life?
Tough. I've always wanted to be a coach. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if that's the same thing as playing basketball. It's not the same thing, but it's still in the same area. Other than that, I've always I got my master's degree in teaching,
Mm-hmm.
so I've always I could be a teacher. So I think I'll go down that route.
I like that answer. Personally for you, what have you been able to learn at college that you will forever be able to take with you no matter where you go? And what are some things that you might have not have expected when you got to college that you have been able to pick up over time?
Yeah. I think the main thing I learned from college is don't take anything for granted. I remember being a freshman and like, dang, like this is gonna be a long time. Like practice is long. Like, but man, it goes quick. It goes quick. And I think cherishing the relationships I made. I mean, it's kind of surprising. I've thought about this a little bit. Like the amount of friends, relationships I made with people that I would have never have made without playing basketball is crazy. Like I have a really good friend that was on the team, and he's from Nigeria. Like I would have never met him if I didn't play basketball. I got friends from all around the country, and just lifelong relationships that I always gain. And I think it's just important not to take that for granted.
Pre-game, what you got? What you listening to? What you bumping in the ears before the game? What's your playlist looking like, man?
I'm a big Drake guy.
Yeah.
I listen to Polo G a lot. He
Mhm.
gives me in that zone. Drake and Polo G mostly.
So when you talk about, reaching the next level and the evolution of everything, um, where do you think we stand on, not even basketball, but where do you think we stand on things outside of basketball as players? I think personally, it's again, to going back to the social media thing, um, you have no idea what's coming your way. So how do you adapt to things such as criticism and, everything coming your way as a person, but as a player and as a student?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult, when you get tweeted at like you had a bad game, people are talking bad about you, it's just something you got to deal with, you got to use that as motivation and try to prove them wrong. I mean, I've been able to to deal with that and better than I used to, and I think it's helped my game.
I'm the biggest thing about me is leaving a positive legacy and leaving the best
Mhm.
legacy I could possibly leave behind whenever my time's up and I'm gone. What is one thing that you want to leave behind? What is something that people may not know about you that you always want to be remembered for?
Um, the main thing that I want to be known for my legacy is just a guy who loved his teammates, who loved the program, and a guy who just worked incredibly hard. And like I said, that blue collar mentality, I think, I've helped bring to this program over the years, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm hope that, it continues for years and years and years, and the program will be left off in a great spot once I leave. And, that's just one thing, couple things that I've always wanted, to be remembered for.
I love that answer. Continue being the best teammate you could possibly be, my friend. We wish nothing but the best for you. And I want to give you a quick little chance. Any shout outs do you want to give to anybody, whoever it is, wherever it is, that you want to give out to?
I want to shout out my boy Wes in Long Island. That's my dog. Shout out my brother and sister, Bailey and Hunter. Yeah, that's it, man.
Feel you, man. Again, we wish nothing but the best for you, and I appreciate you for letting me get some time out of your
For sure.
schedule for just coming to sit and talk with me, man. I'm gonna be watching next year. I'm down. I'll actually be in New York next week.
Okay,
And so we'll be tuning in, man. We wish nothing but the best for you and the team. Keep working, man. I'm hoping to stick with you, keep in contact with me, and
for
again, thank
sure.
you. It means a lot. For the listeners, man, I know y'all love me. I love y'all too, man. I'm just joking. Y'all ain't gotta love me, but I love y'all. Y'all stay strong, man. Y'all keep smiling, man. I hope we did the best with the little entertainment going on. Y'all continue working hard, man. I hope you guys are enjoying this just as much as I am. Second season, man. We're on the second season. 16 years on, second season, guys. Let's keep doing it, man. God bless everyone. Stay safe, y'all. Love y'all.